Hey, this is Toe2 Bravo, and this is a video on something pretty cool that we got for Christmas. It is the Strike Industries Strike Hard, Strike Fast Strike Industries Modular Blade Sight. And this is compatible with all of these Glock models listed here. So we'll bring that up kind of close. I don't know if we can see that. It's kind of a glare, but you can see it there. What we've done already is we've removed the sights that we had in here, which were the Ameriglow fiber optic sights, and I've done a video on those, so we've removed those. Those are there, and we've already installed the rear sight here, which is boring, and you guys have seen tons and tons and tons of sights put on Glocks, I'm sure. This is our Polymer 80 Glock here, and we used this contraption here. It's not expensive, but works fairly well. I didn't have any problems. So there is the rear sight. I like that. We have some beveling there to reduce glare. We have a solid stripe there in the middle, which will be utilized to line up the front sight here. So I'm looking forward to that. I really like the construction and the look of the rear sight. Now what makes this kind of unique is that the front sight, as you can see here, is empty, right? There's an opening there. And what you do is you take one of the provided inserts, which I'm going to show you here. We have a, let's read right off the paper. We take one of the inserts here. So you have a translucent red, translucent yellow, solid black, and solid white. You see them there. And choose the one that appeals to you. And you take your sight here, and you take your insert. I'm sorry. Nope. And you insert it into the sight just like that. Let's do that again. So you take the sight with the ledges right here, that'll be the bottom. The piece that protrudes would be the front, and you just slide it into the sight there and seat it, and now we have our front sight post. And it looks like there's a lot of real estate there that's going to be facing you, so I don't know how precise this sight is going to be, but we really won't know until we get out to the range. So I'm going to go with the translucent yellow. So we'll go ahead and place that on our Brownell slide. So there you have that right there. Kind of our first look for us. And we'll go ahead and secure that to the slide with our handy dandy front sight tool here. So we will hold that with our finger, flip that sideways until we can get it started anyways. Make sure that we're not all skewed up here, which isn't difficult to do. You don't want the sight to be skewed off to one side or another. So there we go. Everything's secure where it needs to be. So that's a front view, side view. They're pretty tall, and a rear to front view. So that would be sight picture right there. Not too bad, but there is a lot of front sight there. I don't think you're going to be able to shoot very precise with this, but maybe, I don't know. We'll have to get out to the range, but that is a lot of front sight there. So anyways, it looks pretty cool, if nothing else. So the next step is to get this out to the range, and I'll let you know what my first impressions are once we get some runs down range. Hey, this is Toe 2 Bravo. We're out at the range again today. It's a little chilly out, probably in the high 20s, low 30s. Wind's kicking up quite a bit. We're out here with our Polymer 80, with our Brownell slide, and the reason why we're out here today is we've got installed on here our new Strike Industries front and rear sights. You've got this metal sight in the rear, very nice, very nicely set up, cut, U-shaped. You have a line in the middle, very subtle. You line up with the front sight. The front sight has the new Strike Industries illuminated optic inserts, and you can take the sight out and you can put in a different color insert, white, black, red, or green. I talked about that on a tabletop. So we're out here to see where that shoots today and see how that performs. So that's enough yapping. We'll shoot at 7 yards at a bullseye and see where we're at on paper. Polymer 80, Strike Industries sights. First rounds down range with these new sights. So we're going to shoot for bullseye and see where we're at on paper on these. Shoot slow there. Hold that one. Just a few rounds that I shot, you're not taking the very tip of the sight, you're not taking and seating it in the bottom of the rear sight. You're actually placing the whole sight in the target, in the bullseye, and you're just shooting this whole leaf here, this whole cut, this whole fiber optic piece sits center mass. So I think if I can adjust to that. So far it looks like it could be a pretty good shooter. It was just figuring it out first, so here we go. Let's finish off this magazine. All rounds complete. Let's load it up and shoot it again. Second series, Strike Industries sight, 7 yards. So we know right now that we need to put the whole front sight post center mass of the target. So here we go. Complete. I think we have this thing pretty well figured out. It looks like a pretty good group down there. Not bad. Hey, this is Toe 2 Bravo. We're back with our Polymer 80 and our Strike Industries sights that we've recently installed. Got two targets at 8 and 15 yards. So we are going to shoot at multiple targets today. So let's focus that bad boy in there, huh? So here we are, Polymer 80 Strike Industries sights. Let's do this. Hold that one. All rounds complete. Definitely not as precise as the 507C, but definitely, you know, a respectable group. we'll have some final thoughts. Let's shoot it again. All right, Strike Industries, double targets, second series. Here we go. Watch your lane. All rounds complete. That was a much better series. We did that a little slower. So we'll be back with some final thoughts. This is Totu Bravo. We're wrapping it up at the range with our Polymer 80 with the Strike Industries sights. Just some final thoughts on these. These aren't very precise sights. They are functional once you learn how much of this sight you put in the, nestle into the rear sight and put onto the actual target that you're shooting. There's a lot of optic there. It's a very long line of optic, and all that's showing up back here. So this isn't very precise. You put that optic center mass of the target, top of the optic on the top of the bullseye, bottom of the optic on the bottom of the bullseye, and you're going to hit the target in that area. Not very precise. It's not like the one I had on here, the Mariglow, which was the red fiber optic circle. That was pretty precise. But this would be probably best suited for, fast acquisitions, silhouette targets. Maybe with a little more shooting, I can become better with it. I'm not going to give up on it just yet. I'm going to shoot it some more and see if I can dial it in. I mean, the groups weren't horrible. They weren't amazing, but they weren't horrible. So we'll just say the jury's out on this right now. I really do like the back sight, the back portion here, the way that that's set up. I do like that. You have that line in the middle to line up with the fiber optic in the front. That's really nice. Maybe down the road I'll switch out the front sight post, put the Mariglow fiber optic in there and keep the rear sight and see how that works out. Maybe that'll pan out and be a little more precision. I don't know. I really do like the back sight though so far. But don't give up on it yet. I'm not. We'll get it out to the range 2 or 3 more times, and then we'll make a final call on that. So this is Totu Bravo. I appreciate you watching until I see you at the range again.